This is Nick with Build Brothers Roofing. Started my digital inspection over at 556 Sipes Circle out here in Chula Vista. We are on top of a flat concrete tile roof. I pulled a couple tiles. I want to show the condition of the underlayment, but I want to point a few things out on this particular roof. So this is a concrete tile roof. Nice thing with concrete tile is that the concrete does get stronger as it ages. So when it is time to replace this roof, when the homeowner is ready, a lift and reset is a possibility, meaning we can reuse the existing tiles that are on this roof and replace the underlayment that's underneath it, because concrete does actually get stronger as it ages. We've done a few homes in this neighborhood. That roof right across the street is one that we actually did not too long ago. We did a full roof replacement, lift and reset with solar as well. So on this particular roof though, again, I want to point a few things out. We can see that all the mortar caps have started to disintegrate. You can see that the ridge board has been exposed. I can just pull this to the side. I don't want to mess with that. You can see that the bridge board has been exposed and all that underlayment is completely worn through at this point. We can also see that the majority of the flashing and the sealant along the penetrations has started to deplete as well. Once that flashing and the sealant along the penetrations start to deplete, a lot of moisture and water can trickle down these pipes whenever it rains. So you can see how water and moisture will be getting down underneath this section whenever the rain comes through. I pulled these tiles again just to show what the condition of the underlayment is in, and you can see just how smooth this underlayment is, how dirty it is. It's very moist as well, so it's telling me a lot of moisture is getting underneath it. And then we can also see just how brittle this stuff is. This stuff literally just kind of crumbles in my fingertip, and so when it gets to be at that point, that's a telltale sign that the product has gone past its life expectancy. Based off the condition of this roof, I would say that it's at least 25 to 30 years old. Fresh underlayment is going to be very thick. It's going to be very coarse, very granular, gritty to the touch. This underlayment is none of those. I'll go ahead and put that back, but just for time's sake, I want to point a few other areas out. Again, more areas where the sealant along the penetration is no longer viable. Here's another section that you can really see where the water's been coming down. You can see all the water marks and the water stains that have been coming down this section of the roof. You can see just how brittle this portion is as well. Again, super brittle, super thin. This stuff is no longer, as waterproof as it should be. So what we want to do when the homeowner is ready to go, we want to go ahead and replace this underlayment with 2 layers of UDL 40 underlayment. Right now we have 1 layer of a UDL 30. Excuse me, 1 layer of a UDL 30 underlayment. We're going to go ahead and double that up when we go ahead and replace this roof. Now, this roof does not need to be replaced immediately. I think that it's at the very end of its life expectancy. I would say this roof has another, 2 to 4 years left in it. But obviously, if the homeowner would like to be proactive, it's always a good thing to be, especially when it comes to the roof, because the last thing you want is for leaks to start to occur and then start to damage the interior of the house as well. The other thing I want to point out is just how thin or how skinny these valleys are. We want to open these valleys up. So what ends up happening is when the original builder built this house, they butted up these tiles really close together, really tightly. And so whenever anything gets stuck in between these valleys, it does not flow freely. It just gets caught in it, just like stuff like this. And so then what ends up happening is whenever it rains, instead of that water just flowing freely off the roof, it'll end up diverting into areas of the roof where it's not supposed to be. So when this roof gets redone, we want to go ahead and open up those valleys. The other thing we're going to want to do is replace these dormer vents with some O'Hagan vents. These type of vents are always the first portion of the roof that starts to leak. So we're going to replace those with some low profile O'Hagan vents. We'll probably add a few more of those as well, just to increase the ventilation of this roof. We've got some moss and mildew that's been accumulating on this roof that's not affecting the roof at all. That's just something that comes, over time. So not something that the homeowner needs to be concerned about. But obviously the mortar caps starting to crack throughout. That is something that should be addressed, because that is allowing water to penetrate the roofing system itself. So again, in my professional opinion, this roof is at the tail end of its life expectancy. It does not need to be replaced immediately. It would be a good idea for the homeowner to be proactive, but I would say this roof has another, 2 to 4 years left in it. That is it for my inspection.